It's a great day to be here in Neshoba County, and I'm glad to see all of our friends here. You know, I wish my family were able to be here with me, but I didn't want to bring them over here to expose them to all the negative campaigning that goes on. You know, you hate to see your family hurt. I certainly hate to see other people's families hurt, and that's why I'm a prosecutor, because I believe in helping families and working with people and doing what's right. I am glad also to see our Assistant Attorney Generals here, the people that work for you every day, people that have fought with me to get a lot of things done and things that I'm very proud of that we've been able to accomplish over the last 3.5 years. You know, they don't do it for money. They do it to help people, and you know, I think in life that's what God, you know, put us out and set us out to do. I've been a prosecutor all my life. I've tried over 100 felony jury trials before, and inevitably, their old defense attorney tactic is that if they have the facts, they pound on the facts. If they have the law, they pound on the law. If they don't have either one, then they pound on the table. And then they blame the prosecutor and accuse the law enforcement of doing some unethical acts. When I got up to do my final closing argument, though, I didn't chase those rabbit trails. I talked to the juries about what the facts are and what the law is. And you know, juries got it. And I think you people and the voters will in this campaign, you'll base your decision on the facts and on experience in this race for Attorney General. I'm going to stick to the facts, and let me tell you a little bit about my history so that you'll know where I came from, what I've done as Attorney General, and what we've accomplished in the Attorney General's office. I grew up in a small town of Holcomb, Mississippi. My daddy was a prosecutor as I was growing up as a kid, and he still is. That's in my blood. It's been instilled there from the little town where I grew up there at Holcomb. I worked on a farm. I know what it's like to work. I enjoyed driving tractors, and that's what I did as a kid. In 1973, a major event in our life occurred. Our home burned. We moved to the big city of Houston, Mississippi, and that's where I went to school, at Houston. And after I graduated law school, I was an intern in the Attorney General's office. That was 19 years ago. Will be 19 years ago next month. After that, I was a law clerk at the Mississippi Supreme Court. I spent 5 years as an Assistant Attorney General where I ran the drug unit in that office. I was elected twice as District Attorney in the 7-county district around Oxford, up near my home around Houston. That's my experience, and that's what I'm running on in this race for Attorney General. Now, let me tell you about some of the things that we've accomplished. Now, in the town where I'm from, in Holcomb, Mississippi, we didn't appreciate folks that bragged on themselves. And I was taught that wasn't the thing to do, but when you're up here running for office, you got to tell people what you've done. As I told you last time at the fair here, I said I'd rather be at home on my old rusty 1206 International tractor breaking up my dove field or breaking up my deer plots than down here bragging to you, or working on my old 1994 GMC pickup that I still drive today. I hadn't changed, in the words of John Wayne, I hadn't changed not one bit from the fellow that was here before you before. But I want to tell you about some of our accomplishments and things that the people in the Attorney General's office have done for you, the people. First thing that we've done is I fought for victims. I worked at the governor's office, and we moved the victims unit over to our office the first term that the legislature came in session. You see, I know how victims feel. I had a first cousin that was murdered in 1976, and I had to sit through that trial. And I've tried to put victims' rights first in every case. And you know, you learn from your life's experiences. You are what your life experiences are. And I will not rest until victims' rights are held over those of the criminals. After Hurricane Katrina, I fought for the victims down on our coast. People that had nothing, had their homes wiped out. You know why? Because my home burned in 1973. And I remember what it was like to have nothing to wear, and what it was like for my school teachers, and some of whose parents are here today, gave me $5 to buy clothes. But you know, I had family and friends to go stay with. Those people on the coast had nothing. And most of all, they didn't have a good neighbor. So I went after them, and I'm going to stay after them until they pay every dime that they owe the people of the state of Mississippi. And then the fees moved in. The the con men who moved in there to try to take money, what little bit our people have had on the coast, and we have chased them all over the South. In fact, with the help of the U.S. Marshal's Office, we drug one out from under a house in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're going to bring him back to Mississippi and introduce him to Parchment. I will not stop until the people are... You know, I grew up with cops in my house all the time. My heroes have always been cops and prosecutors. I know what it takes as a district attorney, the tools that cops need to do their job, and that's what we've done in working with the legislature. In fact, we passed the meth bill in the legislature, and it has reduced meth production lab bust by 71%, folks. That works. It's protected Mississippi families. It's protected those children in those meth labs. When you see tests done on teddy bears that have been in meth labs that do brain damage to our children, we need to protect our children, and I will not stop until we give law enforcement officers the tools that they need, because I know what they need. Yes. And you see me in the battle on against sexual predators. Folks, this one's personal with me. I got a 12-year-old daughter who's interested in MySpace.com and the internet, and it scares me to death. It scares you, because you've got grandchildren and children that are on that computer, and you don't know what pervert may be talking to them. We've battled with them in MySpace, and we're going to make them police their own networks and keep the porn and the perverts off their network. We're opening a cybercrime unit in the Attorney General's office. Be the first in the nation. Next week, our office, the Attorney General's office, will house all federal agencies, state agencies, and we will fight to protect children from child predators and our people from the financial crimes that these thieves work on our insurance and our people that deserve to have a better way of life. Now, one other thing that we've done fighting sexual predators, and that's the Adam Walsh Act. We just passed that in Mississippi this past legislative session. We got that done, and what that does is it protects our children in the classrooms, because it keeps perverts out of school zones, and it makes perverts put their sexual offender status on their driver's license. I will not stop until our children have a safe place to go to school and are protected on the internet from perverts. You see me work on school violence. I had a trial case where a guy came in his office and shot his boss, killed him, and shot down the human resources manager. We produced a pamphlet to help on workplace violence, and moreover, we did the same in school violence to protect our children. They deserve a place to go to school where they don't have to worry about somebody shooting them. And I will not stop until we have trained teachers and students how to report it, and law enforcement how to intervene in instances of school violence. In the area of domestic violence and elder abuse, we've opened up a domestic violence unit in our office. We've opened up a vulnerable adults unit. Our children deserve to grow up in a safe home with families kept together, and our elderly deserve to have a home where they know people aren't going to abuse them. And I will not stop until we have protected our families in their homes, until we've protected our elderly in their homes and nursing homes. On the issue of consumer scams against our elderly, we've chased scam artists and con artists and identity thieves all around the nation. We have extradited them. We've increased our laws. We will make examples of those con men who try to prey upon our elderly and the people that work hard every day, and they try to steal their identities. On the issue of public corruption and corporate fraud, the public deserves public officials who are honest and hardworking, and the vast majority of them are. And they deserve corporations to treat them fairly. Our office has returned over $186 million to the taxpayers and the consumers of the state of Mississippi. And I'm proud of that record. And I will not stop until the taxpayers of the state of Mississippi are repaid by the public officials, and they are brought before a judge for their sentence, and the corporations pay what they may have stolen from those individuals.